Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you. Today we're going to be working with these beautiful 4mm faceted gemstone beads. They are pretty sparkly and I like how they feel and look. So I'm going to figure out something to do with them today. Don't know which one we're going to choose yet, but we shall do something together.
Stick around, find out what we are going to make today. For this project, I think I'm going to be using, obviously, the standard jewelry making pliers. And here's my whole collection here, as well as measuring tape. But I'm also going to be using this wooden dowel or mandrel, either one. It's to make round shapes, loops, hoops. So I'm going to be using this for today's project. What that project is, I don't know yet. Also, I'm going to be using this silver colored copper wire. And this joy is my visor, my magnifying visor, because these beads are very small for me. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm like 21 years old. These 4mm, and sometimes the holes are very difficult for me to find. So I invested in one of these, and this was one of the greatest investments I've made. If you don't have one of these already, you might consider buying one. That's what we're going to be using today. So let's get started.
From the massive selection of beads that I just showed you, I've decided to go with these. These are lapis lazuli, or some people call them lapis lazuli. Anyway, I am a fan of blue. I also took into consideration the meaning behind these. They've been associated with courage and strength and royalty, intellect, truth, and it's supposed to give self-awareness and compassion and self-knowledge, peace, and harmony. Here's a close-up of the bead. As you can see, it is very pretty, sparkly. It has little golden flecks in it, and the flecks are pyrite. I believe the gemstone itself is made of sodalite, calcite, and pyrite together. This is the blue from sodalite. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started working with these beautiful babes. Go ahead and grab your 20 gauge wire and your measuring tape, and we're going to measure about 4.5 inches. I'm thinking I'm going to make some earrings, so about 4.5 inches should be good enough. Let's go ahead and cut our wire. Go ahead and make yourself 2 equal pieces of 4.5 inches of the wire for the pair of earrings. Using the wire you just cut, go ahead and grab one of your 4mm beads and place it on there. Actually, just go ahead and put all the beads onto the wire until you run out of beads. I'm thinking you need about 20 of them, 20 beads. Once you've placed all the beads on the wire, this is what it should look like, about 20 of them. Now's the time to bend our wire into the shape we want. You can use your dowel, or you can do like I'm going to do and just bend it into an oval shape, like a half oval shape, like that. Yeah. All right, and then you can use your wooden dowel to go ahead and form it more perfectly, and so you can have that round shape at the bottom. We're going to make like a teardrop shaped earring, and so far this is what it should look like here. And your wires, you want them to intersect at the top. Take your wire and measure about 1.5 centimeters from the top of each point, and you're going to hold it right there and just bend it like that, and do the other one the same way. Go ahead and just bend that one up also like that. We do this to help hold the beads in place. Also, now we're going to put the 2 wires together like this, and you can grab your pliers here and hold one side of the wire while you wrap the other side around that, or you can just use your hand and hold one side and wrap that one side around the other free side. You want to give it a couple of turns there. There's 1 and 2, probably 1 more, and 3. All right, so that tip that you left there at the top, push them down together, make sure they're close. Anyway, this tip that you left here, we're going to go ahead and grab the pliers now, the stepped pliers or your round nose, and go ahead and make that curve to the front. Go ahead and push that down and give it a turn. We are making a bell for your earring. And all right, see how you just curved it around there like that? And this little tail piece that we have here, we're going to finish wrapping it around that bell like that until you can't wrap it anymore with your fingers. All right, and then you want to grab your pliers to help you finish wrapping it around. Go ahead and press it flat, and this is what it's looking like so far. Put it back on your mandrel, get that round shape at the bottom, squeeze the 2 wires at the top to get that teardrop shape, and like that. Just continue to shape the wire. If it's misshaped a little bit, just form it, and this is what it's looking like so far. Looks good. Now we grab our weaving wire. Generally, I would use a 22 or 24 gauge, but I'm out of it, so we're using 26 today, just for this project. Go ahead and grab you a piece of the wire. I think I'm gonna cut about 4 to 5 centimeters. I don't know. Anyway, just snip. Go ahead and put it on your bead like this. Get in there. There we go. And then what we're going to do is take the tip here and fold it over like that. All right. And basically we're just pinching the tip here, flatten as much as possible that you can do with your hand. And if you can't flatten it all the way, you just grab your pliers and help you the rest of the way. Flatten it like that. There we go. Okay, and now you want to take your bead and slide it down on top of that. Oops, push that back. Push your bead there and leave a little there at the tip. You're going to fold that over on top of the bead to help keep the bead in place. Just press down a little more, make it flat. So what we're basically doing is making our own head pin. Just give it a little tug there. See, it won't go anywhere. Yeah, just flatten it a little more. Grab your pliers. Go ahead and wrap it around the pliers. Give it one wrap. And now you're basically going to take that little tail that you have there and wrap it around that loop. Wrap. You're just securing the bead to the loop. We're going to make a little dangly, that's what I like to call them, danglies, danglers, or whatever. Anyway, just keep wrapping about 4 or 5 times. Go ahead and take it off. And this is what you looking like. Oops, sorry. Pick that up there. So go ahead and snip off that little piece of tail that you have there as close to the base as you can. Just give it one little snip. All right. There we go. All right, and just flatten that little piece that you just cut. No sharp ends. There we go. And this is your little dangly. This is what we have. So now you take another piece of weaving wire, about 5 or 6 centimeters or so, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to wrap it around here and have a piece dangle with a loop and use that to hang our dangle from. The reason I'm doing this is because if I just go ahead and put a jump ring on it, it'll be off kilter. It'll be either to the left or to the right, and it won't be centered like I need it to be. Okay? I get my handy dandies here and go ahead and form our loop. I don't want this one to be as big, so I'm going to use this second one here. Actually, I don't even need these. I can use the round nose pliers, but since they were nearby, I just grab these. So I'm just basically creating this little loop for which my bead will hang from. There you go. So I just wrapped it around 3 times, and then the tail I just wrapped around here. And this is where it's gonna be, right around here. And then this is gonna hang from here. Using scrap wire and the pliers, I'm going to make a jump ring. As usual, feel to make sure you don't feel it poking through. Go ahead and give it a few turns. Turn. Generally, I'll make a bunch at once, but this is just a scrap piece that I had laying around. I'm just going to use it quickly. Anyway, it's not very straight. It's kind of wrinkly, but I don't care. We're just making one single jump ring to put inside the piece that we just wrapped, just to hang our dangle. And this is what it's looking like. It's not very straight, but you know, I don't care. Either way, go ahead and snip, cut it. There we go, and here's your ring. Voila. Go ahead and take your ring. It's kind of open already, but anyway, just give it a turn there to open it and even more. There you go. And grab your little dangle here. Put that inside. All right, just give it a little turn to close it, and this is what you have. Cool. All right, now just open it back. Grab your earring piece. Place that inside there and close it. Give it a close. You might want to grab your pliers to help you close it. And there we go. All right. Close. All right, and this is what we have. So use the same process to now go ahead and make the other earring. And here you should have it like this. For the ear wire, we're going to cut about 4 centimeters. Take that first one that you cut and use it as a guide to help you know where to cut it. Cut the other one so they can be the exact same size. Go ahead and give it a snip here. There we go, and they should be equal. Hold both the wires in your hand, grab your stepped pliers, and go ahead and form the loop, the bottom loop. Alrighty, just turn it over like that, and they should be the same size. Yeah, they are. Alright, now you want to just shape it a little bit more. Now we're going to use the biggest step on the step pliers to form that curve for the ear wire. So just go ahead and place it back on there, the biggest one, yeah, like that, and just give it a turn like that, and then press the other side down. There we go. Alright, make sure they're equal, and take it off and grab your pliers and just make sure they're always lined up. Alright, now you're just going to give it a little turn, just a little bit. Boop. Just like that. And there you are. There are your ear wires. Duplicate. Now you want to grab your earring and the wire that you just made. Open that little hoop there. Turn it and go ahead and place it onto the earring and close it like so. And go ahead and do the same for the other one. Put it on there and close it. Voila, there we go. I wasn't happy with the way it looked, the earring hook, so I reshaped it a little bit. Like this is how it was before. It was kind of straight up and down, and I didn't really particularly like it. So I basically just took the pliers again and wrapped it back around the same one that I used previously. Put it on there like so, and basically just gave it a little bit more of a turn at the bottom here like that to form the curvier shape. And this is what it looks like now. I think it's a lot better in my opinion. And here's the finished product, a pair of earrings. I went ahead and made a pendant. Well, I started making a pendant also. This is what it's looking like so far. The exact same process. Just go ahead and make it a little bit bigger though. Here we go. We're going to use a bigger size bead, and this one is an 8mm round bead. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut it off the spool. I cut about 4 or 5 centimeters. I didn't really measure it because I don't know how much I'm really going to need. But basically, I'm going to take this wire and just wrap it around the top here, and then let this part come down here and dangle. There are better ways to do this, but again, this is my way of doing it. There's no right or wrong way, it's just your way. Remember that. Just wrapping around the top here to make it uniform with the earrings. There we go. And this is what we have. Of course, I'm gonna tuck this piece here, but you get the gist. We'll go ahead and cut about 5 centimeters. That may be a little too much, but let's just go with that. Okay, and the end here, you see I've already started curving it. Basically, we're just making it so the bead will not fall off the end here. Just gonna press it closed. It's closed enough, I guess. And then go ahead and string it up. Yeah, it won't fall off there. All right, so I don't want the end sticking out. So just like I did the smaller earrings, I want to do this the same way. Just bend this little tip here. It'll be flat against your bead. See, it's not sticking out now. All right. And then you grab your round nose pliers or your stepped pliers and just go ahead and do the same. Form your little loop right there and leave some space for your wraparound wire. So, like that. Just hold with the pliers and wrap around. And this is what you should have. And with this excess here, I'll just make a jump ring. So after trimming that piece of tail off, this is what it should look like so far. All right. So let's go ahead and make a jump ring out of that piece that we just cut. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go with the fourth one here. So peek through, make sure you don't feel it coming through. This is how I make the perfect circle. If you feel it coming through, it'll make like a P shape instead of a round shape. So, little trick I learned. Alright, there's the jump ring. Of course, we're gonna trim the excess, but there we have that. Now, let's just go ahead and cut that right there. And there's our ring. And it's already kind of twisted, so just twist it a little more to open it. And then put our loop that we just made, put that right on there. All right. Next, all right, so I can go ahead and tuck this little tail inside here. Like I scarfed the veil there, and I don't want this sharp edge rubbing up against anyone, so I'm gonna snip a little. Snip. And tuck it inside. so it's not poking out or in to anyone. There, it's tucked. You just rub your finger across. Make sure you don't feel any sharp edges. And if not, then you're good to go. All right, now, go ahead and take my little dangly here and go ahead and put it right on there. And close. Bam. And this is what we have so far. Yay. Now I just need to finish this off with a rope and we're done. So here I've made a pendant that's going to be a necklace. One as a necklace actually. And earrings. Matching earrings. Right? What do you think? I like it. There you go. I've also decided to make a stretch bracelet in the same form as the earring and the pendant. So just get yourself some stretch cord if you don't have it already, and string up the beads. Just make sure whatever cord you're using is equal to or smaller in size, so you can be able to string your bead on it. Because sometimes it might be too small, sometimes it might be too big, and vice versa for the bead. I want my bracelet to be about 7.5 inches in diameter, so I'm going to cut about 11 inches of the cord. That should be about enough. So I'm going to make some danglies like the earrings and the pendant. I want to do the same for the bracelet. So I just went ahead and took the 26 gauge weave wire, and I took the tip and just folded it in half and stuck it through the bead. And then, you know, I'm going to fold it over because I don't want that piece sticking out. So just fold it over on top of the bead and lay it flat. If I can get it. There. Now you don't see the piece hanging out, sticking out. And then you just take your round nose pliers, or just some pliers, and make your little loop around again, like you did before. And just keep wrapping around there until this is what you have. Go ahead and trim that piece, snip. So this is what I'm going to make. Well, of course, I'm going to flatten that piece there, that little tip. But essentially, this is what we're going to have dangling from the bracelet. So I'm going to make about, I don't know, 4 or 5 or so. We'll see how that goes. Stick it inside. There you go. You have it like that. Straighten the tip, and then you just bend a little there, fold it over, make it as flat as possible with your finger if you want, or you can just use your pliers. this case, I think I might have to use pliers to make it as flat as I need it. These wires can be rough on your fingers, but I still like using my fingers. Okay, so you just slide your bead onto the fold that you just made. Slide the bead on there, like so. You don't want the tip sticking out, so you just, again, take your pliers and flatten it over the bead. All right, and you grab your other end, make your little loop. Around and wrap, 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 wrap. There we go. And trim. Flatten it. Sharp piece. And then there you have it. Now, I've made several of these. I think I'm gonna make maybe 10, depending on how you want your bracelet to look, how scattered that you want them to be. But anyway, now I have to make some jump rings, or you can just buy jump rings. I like making everything, as much as I can make. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my stepped pliers here and make a few jump rings. As I said before, no peeking through, and just turn. Just keep turning, turning, turning. I want to make maybe 5 or 6 rings at a time. Just do that by continuously turning. And push it up against there. There you go. And a couple of more turns. And I think we are good. Yeah. If not, we can just come back and make more. No problem. All right. So we'll stop there. This is what it should look like. And snip it off of there. Alright. So now you just, if your pliers don't go all the way through, which it probably won't for me, I just usually snip a few that can. Maybe not. Okay. 3 there, and let's go some more, and 1 more. There we go. Now we have multiple jump rings, and we made them ourselves. All right, now guess what we're going to do next? You know, open the rings and place the little danglies on them. So you just continue doing that for however many danglies you made. And I'm going to finish the bracelet off with a large dangly one. Alright, so let's go ahead and wrap this one. Snip. Flatten. Wash, rinse, repeat. There we go. And that's the finale bead. So I essentially dispersed all the little danglies around the bracelet equally as I could. And this is how it came out. And at the end, I put the finale bead on there, the big bead. And here you go. This is what it looks like. I'm happy with it. I think it came out nicely. The bracelet paired with the earrings and the pendant, I think it's a good complement of each other, and I'm happy with the outcome. That concludes today's video. Thank you for watching and following along. Thank you for joining my channel. We'll see you next time on another From Fee to You Wire Art Creation. Bye-bye for now.